Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I'm sick in case you guys haven't seen the other video. So yeah, just minorly sick. But yeah, that's slightly affected my voice, so I'll just let you guys know that's what's up with that. Look at this weakness to Blob here. This is unbelievable. Here he is. 6-0. On reveal, merge cards from your deck into this until it gains 15 or more power. Now, you can miss this or more. So this or more means if you absorb one card, because I have played it and confirmed this, if you play one card, he can go beyond 15 off that one card. So I'm pretty sure whatever your null is, you could theoretically go into that. I've never seen anyone do that with null, because the odds of that happening is insanely low. I kind of wish there was a card that returned, that sent one of your cards to like the very end of your deck or something, or like... No, that wouldn't necessarily work with Blob anymore either. That only worked with old Blob. Well, it could still theoretically work with Blob, because when you play Blob the final turn, you can kind of guess what would go into him. Yeah, something like that. I feel like there's something that should return a card to your deck. Just to try to play into that, but it kind of matters a lot less now that they changed its power here. Although Iron Lad can still trigger into him, like I actually did, and then you can actually still play Blob right after, so that's a new mechanic that can be played, so I will mention that. I don't think it actually worked out for me. I actually lost the game because he only went to 15, and then I used the Taskmaster, and it only went to 15. It actually wasn't enough. It wasn't like my 40-40 that I've done before, which just, that clearly was absurd. But it wasn't that insane, because freaking Null can go insanely high. He can go into 40. He can go into high 38s. Like, it's just so absurd that they never nerfed Destroy deck in this game. Just nerf everybody else. But let's... Anywho, let's keep going. That's Blob. And I'm kind of glad that I played before I did this video, because then I would have been confused and gave you guys probably false information, exactly how he worked. But yeah, here's Infinite, who I'm talking about. See, he has 20 power, so if he's the one card that he takes, only take the one card out of your deck, and then he'll do that, and you can keep playing after he's played. And that matters because I use Wave here to play him on turn 4, and or Sidelock to play him early too, on turn 5. And then here's Taskmaster is talking about set this card's power equal to the last card you played. But yeah, here's my version of the deck. It's pretty freaking good. But it's not amazing anymore. It's not like unbelievably ridiculous anymore. It is kind of fair, but I'd also say it's not fair, because look at this. Infinite's, oh, excuse me, that's right, Giganto, I mean, is 14. Like, it's Destroyer that's 16. Destroyer is a freaking 6 cost that's down just stronger than Blob most of the time. Now, he does have an issue here with destroy all your other cards, but you can literally just protect them so they can't be destroyed. And or you play cards that want to be destroyed that multiply. And here's Death. She can be a free card that's 12 power. He's a 6 card that could also theoretically be less than 15 power if you play him at the end of the game. Like, what in the world? Anywho, that is what it is. It's apparently no mutant can ever be strong in this game, is the moral of the story there. And that's not cool, devs. What the heck? Why couldn't Blob just be a beast? Like, did he really need to go to 0 power rather than his 4 here? Although for rock calculating, that's probably easier, maybe. But you still don't know what cards you have, so... Let's see what they have to say about it, though. Now that I've given my 10 cents here. Welcome to the first OTA patch of 2024. It's good. I swear they're gonna freaking... That's why they don't want to weaken Destroy decks, because they know the game will just die at that point, but just let it die, then. Like, oh my god, let it die! Like, you have to throw the Kirk line in that, it's like, what the heck? It's unfair. Null is unfair. Null plus Death, you can literally drop easily 50 power in one turn. Because Null has 0 cost. I mean, Null is 6 cost. Death can easily be a 0 cost. It almost undoubtedly is if you have a powerful Null. So, because she's cheaper with each destroy that happens. Which can be the enemy's destroys as well. Oh, and Null gets stronger off friendly and enemy too, which that easily they could change. Although I see why they do that, so then Rogue can steal the power to be stronger. But it's still absurd. Like, Rogue's countering him no matter what. No matter what his power is. Anyway, it's going to be an exciting year for Muffle Snap. We'll see about that. I'm already not too thrilled at all. They weakened Professor X. It's actually a terrible year for the game. Although, it is good, though. It's better than many other ones, because it brought back the free card system, which doesn't super matter to me, because I just play enough to just get the few cards that do drop down. But it's still awesome, because I wouldn't have gotten them otherwise. So, this quickly, anyway. So I will give the game credit, due credit there. And we've got a lot of content coming down the pipeline that you're going to enjoy. Oh, I would love a Brotherhood freaking event. That'd be great. No, we won't need more mutants, so mutants can be strong again. What in the world? Although, freaking Blob is good. Blob is a good card. He's just fair now. Even with the Taskmaster play. But yeah, why do other cards get to be unfair for years? I just don't get it. Anyway, for today, most of our attention is on re-inning in the meta. Tyrant that has become Blob Thanos. Oh, wow. So once again, my Blob's nerfed when he's not even using the thing that's supposed to be broken with him. Oh my goodness, this game. This game, dude. I see, because Thanos is giving you more one-cost cards, then it just makes Blob stronger. That's why they did the change that they did, but that's ridiculous. Like, why? Although, obviously, I'm doing one of the other metas, although it's a little bit of an off-meta. But it is one of the other metas with them. But apparently Blob Taskmaster wasn't the issue too, but I bet they're going to mention it down below. I guarantee you they will. And if they don't, oh my goodness, but we'll see. But we're doling out a number of small buffs to underutilized cards as well. What? That is that's a Obi-Wan buff. It's a buff from a certain point of view. I mean, they did make Destroyer stronger. I didn't think they brought Destroyer back to 16 strength. I swear, I think it was that when the game first came out. Well, no, maybe we'll add in Destroyer then at some point back in. But I need Nimrod. When I get Nimrod, then I'll add him back in to the Destroy deck. I think we could actually pull off one more freaking X-Gene related thing with that. But anyway, Blob has been a meta terror for a good minute. Yeah, just a good minute. Null is a meta terror ever since he came out, which is like first year of the game, first few months of the game, I think. That's years. It's years. The only surprising thing about this change is probably that it includes a text adjustment within the OTA. I don't even know what. This card, I don't even entirely remember what OTA even means. I'm pretty sure it was explained at some point. But whatever, I'm sick. We're moving on. This is a card. This card threatens to create absurd amounts of power. It's true. It's true. And release valves. Yeah, but he'd also frick you over too, because he was drawing in all the cards. If you put him down, you'll never draw another card. I would lose games with old him because of that, because I didn't have no other power to play, and they could either Shang-Chi him or just win the other two zones. So I just went all in on one zone. Now he doesn't even ever go all in, so you could arguably say he's better now. Well, I don't think he really is, but we'll see. The format like Shang-Chi and Shadow King. Yeah, Shadow King will also debuff him. That's a great point by them. He had counters. Shadow King's counter is actually almost unstoppable. You'd have to Cosmo the zone that you did. Yeah, before it was impossible, actually. Oh, no, unless Cosmo was in your hand. Yeah, you'd have to Cosmo after you dropped your Bob, because Cosmo will also stop Bob's power, if he's done first. Whatever. Anyway, have proven wholly insufficient in restraining that. The litter is a fair bit on us. Internally, we feared being so easily dusted by, at the time, a 2-3 Shadow King, one of the strongest cards in the meta game. I see, the meta game did shift. There is less Shadow Kinging, which is for the best, probably. Because they should not force people to bring counter cards like Shadow King, although I do enjoy Shadow King. He's X-Gene. Possibly the oldest one. But apparently that's debatable now, according to Selene. And Apocalypse, of course, as well. Although Apocalypse is often Egyptian, so that does give him a timeline. But how old is Egypt? So yeah, he could still theoretically be the oldest one, depending on how old some people think those pyramids and sphinxes, if they're even made by Egyptians. They most likely are, though. They've at least been refitted by them. But also, like, what makes an Egyptian? It's probably the people that made that art, I would say. I'm sure that's what they would say, too. People from that. Anyway, it was important to retain a couple key elements of Blob. The first was rewarding eating large amounts of power, especially from high power cards. The second was keeping the total power of Blob valuable for the opponent to make the card more difficult to combat directly. This change accomplishes both. Well, I can barely even speak. I'm so sick. What in the world? creating different blobs depending on the order of the cards in your deck. It also weakens blob in Thanos especially, as smaller power cards are more likely to land closer to the threshold. When in the world did I ever even play a Thanos blob deck? That's the absurdity, because normally I've seen this stuff. It's possible I'm literally too low league to have seen it. It's possible. I definitely fought some Thanos decks recently. Maybe there were blobs and I just forgot, and or I never saw their blob. Interesting though. I may have maybe seen one. But they already were mostly playing all of their gems, so I don't know, whatever. Lastly, it adds an easy dial for us to tune if our math on the right targets for blob were wrong. The combination of base power and his sexual giving us room to adjust further. I mean, that's true, I suppose. No, Destroyer, yeah, Destroyer became quite rare in the meta. He's still kind of overpowered. If you don't have Nimrod, then he's really not that great. This change is reverting a nerf to Destroyer from a while ago. The general power values in the game have proven, even among Series 1 and 2, where Destroyer's impact was most felt. We'll continue evaluating the relative power of 6-cost cards throughout the year and expect to make more changes. Oh my word, this is why the devs are so bad at making a card game. They just showed a huge part of their mentality. They're trying to ferretize these sets against these sets when there's no game mode that supports that. Now, they did say there's a new game mode coming. Perhaps the new game mode will be Series 1, 2, 3, 4, I think? And 5. That would be really cool for new players to be able to just all hop in and fairly fight each other. If everyone has all the Series 1 cards, it's fair. It's just who's bringing what. And maybe everyone will start bringing the same cards, and that's generally what happens in that. But, especially because these guys don't know how to balance cards with other cards. Even inside the series, they just said that's a struggle for them. Which, tip that for them, if that's what they meant by that. It's clearly the truth. I'm pretty sure it's literally inferred here. So, that's pretty freaking cool. If that is what the new game mode is. But honestly, it should be faction play. Like 12 of the same faction, let them battle like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and all the original legends intended. And basically anyone who writes any of those comics intends as people that work together the best, that know each other. But that's a whole nother thing. Where Destroyer's impact was felt. Yeah, 6-cost cards throughout the year and expect to make more changes. They just know this is still not balanced right. Why would you just be okay with that? I don't know, but I mean, budget is budget. Like, I really do want to blame, like, mostly not these game developers, like the original ones, although I do think they're noobs. A bit newbie, because this is the guy's first card game. But he literally talked to tons of epic other card games, which is why it's as good as it is. But, like, I don't think he understood how their games actually play out at this point. But it could be completely out of his control because the game became so big. It could be all the execs. So I'm going to blame the higher-ups that just want to see numbers grow and not actually care about the game. Like, money numbers grow. But they're at least caring more, so shout out to the execs. They're still allowing older, good game mechanics to interweave back into the game to give new life, a chance to new players. Because, yeah, new players just probably feel completely crushed when they hit a certain point and they stop playing themselves and they actually enter the big leagues. They'll just be absolutely tiny in the big leagues. Which often can happen to me, actually, which is crazy, because I don't have every single card, so then that's the issue. These random other cards are just overpowered as frick. And the other cards I do get a hold of always get nerfed, like poor Bob. R.I.P. I'm still going to use this deck occasionally, but yeah, it's not going to be nearly as much, probably. But already it was weaker than my Spider-Man deck, which is the absurd part. It still wasn't even that good, but I guess it's because I wasn't using Thanos, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. We took a Oh, here's Viper. Oh, that was a stronger Viper we saw. Now this is cool. Viper was really rare. I actually have a deck with Viper too, actually. I guess just for the sake of showing it off, we'll just... Oh, no, I already showed him off. He's right here. 16. I'm just showing this to confirm that the change is actually in the game. Good old Clark Kent, real journalism. Don't just believe what's shown. Just see what the game actually says. Or what? Yeah, don't believe what's told to you. Believe what you see. Yeah, there we go. It's also a Jimmy Olsen thing, I'm pretty sure. I think it's literally what he says. Which he probably learned from Clark Kent. Anyway, which is Superman, if you didn't know. Okay. Anyway, enough DC references. Let's keep going here. Anyway. Viper's next. 3-4 to 3-5. One of your other cards here switches sides. Is that the same? Is Viper in Little Monster deck? No. Is Viper not in a deck anymore that I have? No, Viper is in a deck. Does it call me a villain? Oh, were they misplaying her so I took her out? I may have taken her out for... I thought I had a deck with Viper. Let me think for a second here. Oh, is it They Fear of Our Power? Is this it? Here we go. It's They Fear Our Power. She's at 3-5 now, so she's strong. She's strong now, like, a wave. So, yep, that's confirmed, and I did play against her. It's confirmed. That explains why I saw a Viper player. We took a conservative approach to adjusting Viper over the holidays for reasons related specifically to Havok. And fortunately, those fears were unfounded. Yeah, because Havok's like the weakest card in the game. Wait, how the heck did they not buff Havok this patch? Once again, an X-Gene I got. Cyclops' brother. And he's just super weak. You basically lose if you play him. Although, I did a few... I don't know if that's actually been uploaded. It might be. I did fight one Havok deck that played Havok correctly. They played him turn 4. I still don't know how they had enough mana. Oh, wait, I know how they had enough mana. They played him in a Mr. Negative deck. So they made their end game stuff free, essentially. So Havok lowering your mana didn't matter because they could still play those turns up until the final turn. So Havok just powered up. But it's insanely rare. A Mr. Negative deck is insanely rare. I do have one, but I don't have Havok in it. I may want to think on that. And maybe try to pull that off myself, but it was just so rare. I still beat the guy's deck, which is my Spider-Man deck, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, basically any deck I use just gets nerfed while these other ones don't. Although I have used the Destroy deck for quite a while. Unfortunately, it was just a forced thing to do in the meta at the time. At least there are these other cards that can take it on better now, but it's just so unfortunate. Also, that was still like my third most mutant deck, so... Anywho. We're unfounded. However, we've decided to keep Viper at 3 costs for a few reasons. One is that it lets Viper more naturally combo with locations like Savage Land or Shadowland. Savage Land creates 2 1 cost, 1 power, I believe, Raptors. I actually can't look that up. I think they're 1 power. They might be 2 power for a 1 cost. I think maybe. I think they're 1 power. I think they're 2 power because I was buffing them with Khazar. And then Shadowland creates -2 ninjas from the hand. Also, there's a lot of hand people that can be added in this game. Interesting. Which reveal on turn 3 1/3 of the time. Wait, that zone's that common? Wait, what? They're saying these 2 zones will appear on turn 3 1/3 of the whole time? Well, that may explain why Khazar deck was doing alright. A new one that I made. That's why that was doing surprisingly good. I just thought I was getting super lucky those were popping up. I mean, I still was. But there is math behind it, too. It wasn't just pure... Well, I mean, it was still a miracle, basically. But there was some sense to it. There was some science to it, some commonness to it. Another is that it increases the design space for building cards like the Hood as a 2 cost. Because Viper can gift them on curve. What do you mean Hood as a 2 cost? Wait, what? Did Hood get nerfed to a 2 cost? Oh, didn't I just play him and he was still 1 cost? Actually, why am I searching? No, yeah, Hood's still 1 cost. What, they're thinking of... Wait, did they just screw up? Or are they mentioning it as a 2-cost because he's a 1-cost and you get a 1-cost demon to do his full play as 2-cost total? Although it might not be if you have frickin' Quinjet, then your demon's free, I'm pretty sure. I should probably play that more, actually. That's insanely good. Not thinking about that, but I don't like using Hug. He's a freaking demon. I don't like using the demon. He's insanely good, though. Especially with Iron Man. It's like I'm gonna have to double him. It's freaking 1 cost 6 into a freaking 12. Being bonkers. Anyway, although he can't just be killed by Killmonger. That kills all 1 cost. But you could defend him with armor. Because Viper can gift them on curve. Now Selene, who I was just talking about. Let's go back to Selene. Selene's definitely an unlimited monster, and then we have Red Velvet in here. Full crew. There they are. All 5 of them. I've just switched out who these are, but it's freaking hilarious. But anyway. Here she is. She's a 1-2. So that has changed. That's really awesome. I totally called that they would do this because she just was unbelievable at -1. I almost didn't even want to get her, but she's so much laughs. Just a random crud that she does. And quite brutal if they run a Professor X deck. She has a very high chance of hitting Professor X at only 1 power to bring him to freaking negative power. So you'd probably never play him at that point. That's brutal. Especially because main deck strategies go around Professor X. Very nice. Also, she can negative Green Goblin and Hobgoblin even further. Which is how she does not hurt yourself when you play her. Let's see what they have to say. Selene was originally designed to explicitly combo with Viper and Black Widow. So they're saying... Oh, no, never mind. They're mentioning Annihilus down here. But yeah, she played in Annihilus. She will not now. I would immediately have addressed that first. Because that's what the main use of her is. Although I have seen her not in that deck. And yeah, and I don't have an Annihilus, so I've never used her that way. Which is... But really? They didn't design her to specifically work with Green Goblin and Hobgoblin? Because that's what I immediately used her with. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy's -3. She'll turn to -6. She just doubles his value. And a 5 -11 is brutal from Hobgoblin. Anyway, which is part of why her own power was negative. It increased the risk-reward of these strong combinations. Really, you think these low-cost cards are actually that strong of a combination? They're not. However, it turns out that subsequent changes to Viper and Black Widow also weaken these combinations plenty. Oh yeah, because they stopped making Viper a 1-cost or whatever she was. Something changed there. And something changed with Widow too. They may have made a Widow a 2-cost when she's a 1-cost. I don't even remember, but they're saying something changed. And Annihilus hasn't been much of a factor for Selene either. They say this, but this was like some of the best decks were the Annihilus ones. They just may not have been consistent enough. Like, you have to play a very particular way to beat them, but my Xmen deck actually could, so yeah. That's just them indoor. That's me easily adding 1 puzzle piece and just proving the Xmen are super weak with that statement alone. That's freaking hilarious. Annihilus isn't much of a factor for Selene either. And like, yeah, the Xmen deck actually could beat them, although it's very difficult for it to do it. I actually have, though, because you just play in the zones and fill up the zone. And then they can't move the cards down to you. The negative cards, you just keep them. Also, Prof can stop it from being done too. So we're adding some power here to let the card better stand on its own, thank you. That's actually tempted for me to actually bring her into my main Xmen deck, but she's not an Xmen, so she's villain. I call her a villain because she's busy killing it. Like, Girls' Generation's villain totally fits this character. It's freaking great. Also, she's got the chic too with this outfit, heck yeah. It's some of the best art in the whole game. I had to yellow get that one, even though it wasn't Jim Lee art. For the album, because that just gives me a Deadpool. I wish he gave something cooler, but maybe he's super known for Deadpool, I don't know. Anyway, he's known for saving Marvel Comics, that's what he's really known for. Yeah, because X-Men 89 issue 1 is still the most selling comic, apparently. At least of Marvel. Holy crap. Oh my goodness, they changed Electra? Oh my goodness, they changed Electra. Wait, this is cool. I did see Electra a little recently, but I think that was before the buff. I have no deck with Electra. I did wonder if they wouldn't do this with Electra. No, doesn't this make Quicksilver trash? It does. That makes Quicksilver a trash card. That's not cool. Here's Echo. Well, I mean, Echo was a 1-2 as well. This Echo show is incredible so far. You do want to see the Hawkeye one first. That would greatly benefit it. It directly shows scenes from it. But yeah, that's a short show too, though. It's like 6 episodes. Echo's gonna be like 5. I think I'm like episode 4 or 5 into it right now. I think I'm seeing up to episode 4. Absolutely incredible show. But I mean, maybe that is why it's so sweet, so it can actually be written well. So short, I should say. So it actually can be written well, and not just be super long. Although we'll see, like, they might botch the ending. They love to do that, Marvel, but we'll see. They might just end up making her fight her freaking self again. Although, in a way, she is actually doing that. Oh my goodness, she already is. Because here's what I'm saying. Starts in your opening hand. Quicksilver, 1-2. So, he can be destroyed and his power equalized by Electra. That's why they didn't do that before. My goodness, why do they not want base cards to ever be good? It's so scummy pay to winny. But we may see more Electras because there's some powerful one costs. Echo, Nebula, Kitty Pryde, Sunspot, of course. Although I will say from last patch, I'm going to shout out Angel again. Angel finally became the thing I said he should have been from launch. He's still essentially unplayable, but at least I did see him one time. I have not seen him again. But when one of your cards is destroyed, this flies out of your deck, out of your hand or deck, and replace it. It used to just be deck. At least it's hand as well. Which I think I saw someone do. Have I not actually confirmed that to actually be true? I don't know if I have. Well, we'll go back to my destroy deck at some point here, especially with the nerf of this blob one. I may just go back to it sooner, very soon here, and just test it, see how it does in that conquest mode. Because especially if I'm waiting for my Spider-Man deck to be given the points back, because I don't want her to gain Silk to gain more points and confuse them when they're checking in on her. Anyway, back to the notes. This is gonna be long, tangenty. It just is what it is. We've explored a variety of directions for improving Electra, and we'll likely continue doing so. Electra has an amazing story and a lot of great variations. Yeah, I really like Electra as a character. She was like my freaking Ultimate Alliance 1 character to use, because someone else was using Storm. And freaking Electra is just so freaking awesome. She's so much fun to play in that game. But also plays as an important role in teaching new players about sequencing cards and managing different locations. We've wanted to improve Electra for a while to make this iconic character more enjoyable. What took them 2 years? Then. But don't want to lose out on the important function for early play. For now, we're just giving additional power and seeing how that goes. So they basically are just saying they don't want to make her overpowered, I think. Which is very easy to do with that card. While only one other person has thumbs up this whole thing. I don't even know if I want to thumbs up it. But I do like the buff to Selene. Let's see what they did to Dazzler. Because yeah, they've nerfed 2 mutants technically. Actually 3. Dagger was also mutant. Nerfed. Wait, Dazzler may be a buff actually. No, Dazzler was a buff. No, it was a nerf. They're lowering it. Oh my goodness. Wait, they lowered her cost though, too. Wait, no, they upped her cost and power. No, they lowered it. Oh, that's so confusing. I'm seeing like 3 different... Yeah, they lowered it. Wait, that actually could be a buff, though, if they lowered it. Let's see what they say, actually. Dazzler's very hard to use as a card. I'm just going to say that. Dazzler is another card that could use some shine. Our intention with... I'm just going to leave that for what it is. Our intention with the initial change to 3-cost Dazzler was to see if Silver Surfer plays players, would be excited to pair Dazzler with Brood. No, then you filled the zone. You don't do that. You filled the zone at that point. Do they not understand fundamentally how this game works? You never want to fill a zone unless it's the end of the game. Because that just gives someone a number to beat. Like, this game is math v math. You don't do a lower equation so they can just find a way to do a higher equation to beat you. Oh my goodness. But things haven't worked out that way. Just gonna let that stay for a second. Moving on. So it's time to try something else. Dazzler as a card rewards playing efficiently so that you can get all your cards out, which means energy reduction should be helpful. I would agree with that statement. Let's go over to the Dazzler deck. I literally have one because, of course, she's a mutant. Let's see here. Dazzling Stars. That's right, that's why I named it. It's incredible. That's why we got the crawler in here. The Nightcrawler. Because he's kind of hard to use in my current move deck. Especially because I took out Craven. He's very good with Craven, though. And Storm. And probably, Prof too. Yeah, here she is, Dazzler. She's a 2-2 now instead of a 3-3. Now, she lost 1 power. Ouch. I don't know if that was necessary. Here's the unfortunate thing is I used to play Dazzler into Mystique. Now, you can do that, but you'll have lost... Well, no, I guess you just can do that a turn sooner, actually. Technically. Yeah. So, okay, I like that. And then what I was thinking the most is turn 5. You just drop it as a combo they never even saw coming. Pretty late in the game. That might be actually impossible to counter. Because they may not play a counter because they want to play their turn 6 card. Assuming there's not 7 turns. And then I'm playing Ultron because deploy 4 1-power drones to each other location. That will just fill everywhere to just buffer instantly. And possibly a Mystique as well because she took her power. And then we throw Cosmos in here just to be a countering jerk. But often I'll be playing Dr. Doom, because he's even stronger, generally, than the Ultron play. But you do have a Mystique into Patriot final turn as well that you could go into. I don't know. I have Goose to counter just because. You just have to bring counters. And then if both sides here are full, plus 6 power for Mojo, who also plays great in Ultron and or Dooms. And then Wong is here, which can also be played in Mystique to make a heck ton of Doom boss. And Punisher's here because they buffed him recent-ish, few months. And he's just crazy good, but also Mystique can turn into him too if you need to. It's not the greatest of decks, but it's pretty freaking solid. And if there's a zone the buff's ongoing on top of the already ongoing, you could also alternatively run Onslaught in here if you don't have Ultron or something. And or Odin to make even more Doom bots. Should make even freaking more Doom bots if you had the long combo going. Holy crap. You'd probably fill the zones with Doom bots. So that's another alternative. Although you do gotta watch Goose and Cosmo as they can prevent Doom and Ultron from triggering, so you don't want to do that in the same zone. But yeah, counter yourself in this game, which is probably for the best. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much this changes, honestly, besides her not being able to be buffed by Silver Surfer anymore, so that takes away a gameplay. But I think it's just going to make your chain even quicker by having her possibly happen a turn earlier. So that's a cool buff. That might be enough to actually get a thumbs up, because Dazzler's an X-Men from the 80s. Completely awesome legend. She attacks and generally is the one fighting Brotherhood Rogue from the 80s. Before she goes good. I see what they say should be helpful, because Dazzler is so difficult. Her power just may need to be stronger than what it is. But she's an ongoing card though, so there's so many counters to her that it's just tricky. There's at least 4 solo counters. Hercules. Maybe more, actually. Now here's Hercules. Yeah, no one's using these new cards. I do like that they're immediately going to buff Hercules. The first time another card moves here, each turn move it to another location. 4-6 to 4-7. Yes, buff up Kevin Sorbo, please. Love that Hercules show from the 90s. Hercules released weaker than we'd like. No joke, Sherlock. I'm gonna actually say it for that. So we're adding a little power, especially when you nerf all the move cards around him. What are they thinking? We'll see though with Dagger. It's a nerf buff probably, but it's gonna be an overall nerf. Dagger was questionable in my deck, and she may literally just go for Graven now. I'm probably still gonna keep it though, just because I'm mutant crazy, but I don't know about that. Our goal remains to try and find an execution that builds an interesting move card at 4 cost. There's like already 4 of them. Or 3. But yeah, 4 costs for a move deck is awkward. I'll totally agree with that. I actually was playing a deck that had no 4 cost move cards. I just recently got some. I just like Spider-Man 29.9, so I keep him, but I don't know if he actually should be in the deck. Because a 2/2/2 play actually can kind of do something when you're doing move decks, depending on what else is going on in the zone and what your opponent's doing. Anyway, because diversifying strategy options across more costs is key for ensuring we have a lot of gameplay variety. We may consider revising the effect in the future as it proves unworkable at this cost. Yeah, they're basically just saying it's really hard to use 4 costs in a move deck. I kind of agree with that. They have so many other epic options, including the 3/1 play. Dagger. Now this may be the biggest controversy of them all. Is Dagger even a good card? Dagger 2/2. When this moves to a location, +2 power for each card. Now this also may be my fault. She's getting nerfed actually to a slightly degree, but I only play this game like half an hour a day. But I did absolutely demolish some of the freaking Conquest mode. Although, I say that, but the deck still couldn't even win one Infinity match. So this is absurd nerfing her, in my opinion, but... Anyway, when this card moves to a location, +2 power for each enemy card here. So she's net going to be stronger if she goes into a filled zone. Is essentially what this is. I don't know why they nerfed her, but let's see what they say. Only one person's like this whole post too, which is truly hilarious considering thousands of people to play this game. Speaking of move cards, Dagger has been one of the weaker ones for a while. We'd like there to be some extra competition and strength for the archetype. So we're trying a change here that sizably increases the power potential. This does make Dagger weaker to Shadow King. So it's not all upside, but overall it should improve players' options moving forward. That's all for this week. Until next time, happy snapping. Yeah, I think they're... I'm gonna be that guy that actually likes this post. I highly question the blob nerf, but overall more mutants were nerfed, or buffed I should say, than were nerfed. That's a net 3 buff to 1 nerf. It's a horrific nerf, but he's also a Brotherhood. And he did need it, to a certain degree. I just think they over-nerfed him, possibly. To kind of take away his fun flavor. But he still has some pretty fun flavor, and Iron Lad can play into his ability, which I did see happen, and that's going to be even more insane. If you Iron Lad Blob... I don't think I've actually even done that, but it's so rare. If you Iron Lad into... Oh, because you couldn't do that before, now you can. So I'm going to see if I can get that to happen. You Iron Lad into Blob, Blob into Taskmaster. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. That's going to be absolutely bonkers. Hopefully that'll happen at some point. It's going to be insanely rare, though. Which is a problem with the Blob deck now. You need luck now for him to go into 20 power, so he goes beyond his normal 15 off 1 card. Which is cool that's still in the game. But anyway, Dagger. Oh, did I not select Dagger? I don't have Hercules to show off, unfortunately. Let's just look at Dagger. When I move from the car song, of course. Yeah, now she's at 0. That feels so bad. I was almost removing her from the deck anyway. She's literally only here because she's a mutant. Sometimes there's a different origin story, but I'm pretty sure always a mutant. And it just joins the Xmen like Spider-Man could if he wanted to. When this moves to a location, +2 power. I think I'd look at this maybe earlier. I almost never get her power to ever trigger, legitimately. So we're going down to 0 is pretty freaking terrible. Often how this plays, and this is one of my most played decks, too. Yikes. But I'll test it tomorrow and see how it goes. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll just leave it on her. Why not? Because yeah, that's a pretty big change. Because obviously there's a ton of move deck players now, or else they wouldn't be nerfing these cards so often and frequently. But they did give move players a buff with Hercules. So if you do have Hercules, maybe try him again. He's 1 power stronger. 4/7's pretty freaking strong. He's just very hard to use his freaking move. And I do want to test out Selene decks as well. But that should do it. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. Stay mutant strong. Stay marvelous. Later. And let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about these changes too, and why Destroy decks were not nerfed. If anyone could ever explain why Null is still one of the most broken cards in gaming history, let me know. Later. As Blob apparently getting near his power was apparently enough to nerf him. So why is Null allowed to just be insanely strong, being powered off what your opponent does as well? Very strange. Now, for the rogue stealing of his power, that's maybe why. But why is he ever allowed to go that high that you must bring a counter or you're just going to lose to him? Truly weird. Or for the most part. Because you can play him into the free death as well. That's what makes it so strong. Free death and Null. If you get just one of them, you're beatable. But if you get both, you essentially just won. Later.